All right, welcome back to Late Night Lately, the late night show. By my count, maybe 3 weeks late. Listen, I wrote a monologue 3 weeks ago at this point, and you know what? We're gonna do it. We're gonna do the jokes. I'm not preparing anything new. Let's get it over with, and then we can move on with 3 weeks worth of 3 weeks worth of videos and stuff. Okay. Hold on, I have to correct something. Okay. Tim Scott dropped out of the Republican side of the 2024 presidential race, and when asked about Scott, the other candidates were simply replied, "Ah," because he's black. Ire grew towards Elon Musk after he seemingly agreed with an anti-Semitic tweet on the platform X, formerly known as Twitter. In other news, the sky is blue. President Biden, that wasn't a good one. President Biden met with Chinese President Xi Jinping in this past week. Again, 3 weeks ago. This was Jinping's first trip to the U.S. in over 6 years, while it was Biden's sixth attempt to try to walk normally beside another human being. Washington's National Zoo bid farewell to two giant pandas that have been living there since the year 2000. It was about time, given that the pandas were only smoking weed all day and could no longer be on the zoo's health plan. Because they're 23. And in 2 years they would have been. I'm explaining a joke, whatever. The U.S. said it would welcome back any giant pandas from China, but only on the condition that China would take one of the orangutans native to the U.S. And that was a monologue. All right, let's get on with these last couple of weeks of late night news. Leslie Jones sat in with The Daily Show, and the Correspondents took over The Daily Show. And this week, Michelle Wolf returned to The Daily Show. It's been a packed couple of weeks. Now, unfortunately, as many of you may know, I have a lot of subscriptions, and I subscribe to YouTube TV, which is one of my subscriptions. I did not know for weeks, for at least, because I missed all of Leslie's week. I had no friggin' clue that they were on, that they had returned, that The Daily Show was back from like a week hiatus or something like that. But I was so mad. I was so angry because YouTube TV did not record. The last thing I had was from the week of October 16th. So I thought they were off for a couple of weeks. And Michael Costa was the last person to do anything. And I was like, what in the world is going on? And then earlier this week, so I didn't even check YouTube. That's how, like, I was just like, I guess they're off. So then earlier this week, I'm on YouTube TV and I go, let me see if there's, because this often happens where YouTube TV just won't record for some reason. Like it does it with, or if it does record, it'll throw it all the way at the beginning. It does it with American Dad, and it's quite frankly annoying. But with The Daily Show, there's an entire new Daily Show section. Not section, but like posting. Oh, Jesus. Maverick destroyed a toy, and he took all the fluff out, and now I see that I did not throw the toy away, and so now all the fluff. Maverick, come here, buddy. And now the remaining fluff from that toy is outside on the ground, and after I just cleaned it up. It's almost dinner time. It's 4:30. It's nowhere near dinner. It's an hour away from him and Nova. So anyway, I mean, all that to say is I missed so many episodes of The Daily Show. Now, I could have gone to YouTube and watched things, but there's no fun in that. So this week, I just saw Desi Lydic and Jordan Klepper hosted an episode. Ronnie Chang hosted an episode. Dulce Sloan got her chance to host one episode. She should have gotten a week. But that's when the strikes happened. And it's again, I think this is. I read an article this past, and this entire episode is going to be clips. But I read an article this past week that was talking about how The Daily Show is struggling to find its new hosts. So this is from Deadline, and I'll link it in the show notes. Let me get this #recipient thing out of here. But and yeah, I guess we can just move on to this. But The Daily Show. This comes from Peter White at Deadline. Inside the search for a new host as duos behind the desk take center stage. They're struggling to find this new host because they were leaning towards Hasan Minhaj, and that's not going to happen. Mostly because of his the thing that happened with the New Yorker. There's the lies. I don't want to say the lies that came out. But they're doing these great things with the correspondents and these guest hosts. And I know a show can't subsist on guest hosting and things like that. And we're coming up to a 2024 election. And that's very important for late night. As much as I hate to say that, it's very important for late night. And they need some semblance of stability. So now, what are they going to do? Are they in 2024? Possibly very early on. I say before spring. I mean, hell, I say at the end of in winter. Right now, I say sometime between January and March. I want to say now, but I don't think they have a decision made. But I think between January and March, they announce this new host, and this person takes over in springtime or summer, so that we have a good build up until fall. But they have to name somebody, and I think this is by their merit, by their own design. For me, I would love to see them continue down this path of a non-traditional hosting structure. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they have guest hosts all the time. That's technically what I'm suggesting, but I would love to see them just pick 4 guest hosts and rotate them in and out. And then also give the correspondents their chances. So that's 5 people, or just make it a correspondent-based show, but they need somebody to steer the ship. And what Peter White writes here is that Desi Lydic and Jordan Klepper were lauded on social media because of how well they performed together, their chemistry. If you'll recall, before Roy Wood Jr. left the show, he and Desi Lydic were rumored to be the ones to take over the seat. It was either going to be one of them or it was going to be the both of them. But then he left during the strikes, which is, what was right for him. Jordan Klepper already had his own show, which did not perform very well because now we're in a time, because it was basically a Colbert Report style show, and it just didn't. And while the jokes were funny, I think it was a little bit too real for everybody. Taylor Tomlinson is getting her own show, a version of At Midnight that's called After Midnight on CBS, and it would be great to see a woman in hosting The Daily Show. Desi Lydic has been there since 2015, and she's a very funny person. I still think Roy Wood Jr. and Desi Lydic would have been great. Hey, Maverick. Jesus, there's more now. I don't know how there's more fluff in this thing. But what we have, and also Leslie Jones hosted with Jordan Klepper. I think they should we're in a new era. We should continue doing these strange things. And there are now, out of all the hosts that they've had since January: Leslie Jones, Wanda Sykes, D.L. Hughley, Chelsea Handler, Sarah Silverman, Hasan Minhaj, Marlon Wayans, Cal Penn, Al Franken, John Leguizamo, Desus Nice, Charlamagne the God, and Michelle Wolf. I think that they could stick with a good core 4 plus the correspondents who could switch in and out, and they could do different things. In fact, along with Sarah, Michelle, and Leslie, Cal Penn is said to be coming back, and he's supposed to be in the running, along with Chelsea Handler and Charlamagne the God, who more recently had a show, Hell of a Week was canceled on Comedy Central. And I don't know if it was late night, but it was definitely a show that was after 10 p.m. I would love to see Leslie, Chelsea, Sarah, Michelle just basically trade off hosting duties until the election, and they choose from one of those people. I think Sarah's a little bit too busy. I think Leslie's a little bit too busy. But Chelsea has been very adamant, along with Cal Penn, has been very adamant that she should have the job. And I like Chelsea when she was hosting; it was fantastic. I would love to see something different, and adding a woman back into late night would be fantastic, because Full Frontal with Samantha Bee was canceled wrongfully on TBS. Now, there's a whole bunch of videos I got linked up here, and I'm going to have to delete some of them. But Leslie Jones met Steve Kornacki, and she geeked out. If you don't know, Leslie Jones is fascinated by that young, geeky gentleman. Jimmy Kimmel said bye to George Santos, and I believe this will be the last we see of that character. Who played George Santos on Kimmel? What is his name? Jesus. I'll just do this. I'll type in New Girl, and then I'll go look at the actors. And that will help me to choose Nelson Franklin. He played George Santos. He did a very funny thing. I think Nathan Fielder appeared with Emma Stone, and he's, again, proved to be, he's one of the best Kimmel guests, along with Eric Andre. Ari Melber, you know what? Hold on. I'm going to delete some of these videos. Black Thought guested on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon to talk about, I believe, his new book. Rachel Maddow popped up on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Adam Sandler and Henry Winkler appeared on Jimmy Kimmel Live together. It's when you see two people who you haven't seen together in a long time, I enjoy it a lot. Jokes Seth Can't Tell, which is I just had an interview with a comedian, and I was trying to think of that segment, and I couldn't. And there was a lull in what I was saying, which is very funny to me. What else happened? Kenan Thompson and Kel Mitchell came on the Tonight Show to talk about Good Burger 2, which I've yet to see, which I'm excited to see, but I have to rewatch the first one. When a movie comes out in a series, it makes me want to rewatch the others, just like Hunger Games. I got to see the other. I have not seen the third Hunger Games movie. Fourth, the last one, Mockingjay Part 2. And I think it's stupid that I have not seen that. Any hoozles. Whom else? Joke Seth Cantel turns 50. Mike Birbiglia, he popped up on The Tonight Show, and that audience does not give him enough due diligence. They don't give him enough credit. It makes me so mad when those people don't give him any laughs. And Jimmy's over there doing his best, trying to help out, trying to alleviate the situation. That crowd's just not ready for a real comedian. They see these people come on, do their thing. Oh, Rose Byrne is funny. But they don't see Mike Birbiglia. Man, he's a funny guy. Letterman came back to the Ed Sullivan Theater to do an entire episode of The Late Show with Colbert. Right before Colbert had a surgery. His appendix bursted? Yeah, he had a ruptured appendix. It's crazy. Desi Lydic and Jordan Klepper go to the Fox News HQ to talk about Christmas, the war on Christmas. And Seth Meyers hosted his family on Thanksgiving on the late night for the 10th year. Traditions are fantastic. I love seeing these traditions. Pretty much, I think almost every late night show stays on the week of Thanksgiving. I mean, for a long time, it was only the NBC shows. But this year, Kimmel was still on, and I think mostly because of the strikes. Colbert would have been on. Was he on? He did like 2 shows, I think, or 1 show. Anyway, but I love these types of traditions where you do something like this. Coming up, we'll see Fallon do his 12 Days of Christmas thing in the vein of Ellen. I don't know if last year they gave away gifts, but I remember one year they gave away so many gifts, and it was fantastic. It was so cool to see. I'm not being facetious or anything. I really like, hey, give things away to people. I enjoy seeing things like that. But in terms of the Thanksgiving thing that Seth Meyers does with his family, it is just so nice and lovely to see his parents sit down and Josh pop up on television. And just talk about family stuff, and we're brought in to this family, and we're allowed to laugh with them and to talk with them and have a nice chat. Well, not talk with them, but have a nice chat. What else is going on? Not much is going on in the world of late night. I mean, we're sitting we're sitting for, sorry. We're sitting for, I'm writing down these notes for this show, trying to link stuff. We're sitting for, and waiting for things to come back. Because, even if I took 3 weeks off, they still only had like 2 weeks worth of shows. Because this week, nobody was really on because Colbert had his ruptured appendix. And Kimmel was the only one on. So he's probably going to go off next week. Or who knows? I don't know. I'm not in charge of this stuff. Is late night still important? I think so. Fallon has won the. I don't like talking about ratings or anything, but Fallon won late night ratings for the third consecutive week, and it's important to note that because Colbert is the one who usually leads. Similarly, we've got Fallon popping up on Jimmy Kimmel Live, performing his Christmas song with Meghan Trainor. Also, hey, it looks like Jimmy Kimmel's coming back to host the Oscars in 2024. I would love Maverick to host the Oscars. But B, I wonder what's going to be different this year besides the fact that there was a strike and now we're talking about it. And now, it's been a couple of years, and we've got we're out of this the major part of the pandemic. COVID's still real, and we're out of the major part of the pandemic. I'm looking at Nova. If you're watching the video, you just see her in the background watching the carnage unfold. And now we have a bunch of movies, even though the strike has affected a lot of this, but we have a bunch of movies coming out. The strikes, not just strike. Where can the Oscars go from this point forward? They're coming back with Kimmel for a third year in a row. They could have brought me in. I would have done it for not a lot of money. I would have done it for the recognition. If that guy that starred in Jury Duty can be a nobody and now he has a 2-year deal with Amazon, which is true, I could host the Oscars right now. Oh, it wouldn't be scary at all. It wouldn't be scary one bit. I don't think so. All right, I don't have anything else to talk about, and I don't want to waste your time. Listen, thank you for listening to the show. If you like what you heard here, head on to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where I've got interviews with your favorite media personalities. Most recently, I just talked to Eric Deggans. He's a media analyst for NPR. He does a whole slew of things. But I know him as a media analyzer. Very smart. He's a cool guy, and we talked for a very long time, which is nice to have, nice to see, nice to have in my back pocket. You can watch a video version of that on youtube.com/cpluscomedy, along with the video versions of every podcast we do. Oh, they're kissing. The pets are kissing. Oh, look at the pets kiss. Look at them kiss. Oh my God. You gotta watch the video. You're missing that. You can watch on youtube.com/cpluscomedy. You can also see the interviews there where I do the interviews. That's what it's called. If you want to listen to the interviews, it's under the Constitutionalist Podcast, which is the premier entertainment business news podcast for the website, and LinkedIn Logs, which is the business podcast for me, business? The Job Podcast. I don't know, whatever. I try to get a job. You can do all the other stuff. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at C Plus Comedy, me at Chad Black White. I should really have pressed this earlier, but whatever. Here you go. Stop meowing. Bye.